Welcome to the live stream, guys. Welcome to the live stream. My good name is Womboy. Thank you so much for being here. Ooh, thank you for the like. Hello, hello, hello. Wolfman. Hello, how are you doing? Good to see you. How is it going? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. Hello, hello, hello. Wolfman says, I'm great, Womboy. Thanks. Hope all is well with you. Yes, definitely. Everything is well with me. It's a good day. I'm feeling nice and better. What's the time where you're at? It's 20 a.m. Wow. Which place is that? 8:20 a.m. It's 3:20 p.m. here. When you join in, like the live stream, guys. Or afternoon for you, yeah. It's afternoon. It's 3:20 p.m. Yes, it's definitely afternoon here. Okay, which country? Okay, maybe US. I'm assuming US or Canada. Oh, South America, right? Time zones are always like something different for me. Okay, and I'm so excited. You know what? US. Okay. I'm so excited because for a long time I've wanted to like maybe play games on the live stream. Um, near New York City, New York. Okay. Uh, but wow, at least my phone updated that. The phone didn't have that. Right now, my phone is showing the playables. I might play this to get the watch hours, guys. But maybe not during our usual time. Yeah. Okay. Which generation has had the easiest childhood, in your opinion? We have millennials, we have Generation Z. What is the name of the generation before that? Baby boomers? Okay. Which generation in your opinion had the best child, easiest? Not the best, easiest. Joseph Edward, hi. Good to see you. How are you doing? Okay, thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes. We're just getting started here on the hangout. Oh. No, I don't know how your day is going, you guys. Uh, there's a lot of building going on. It's XYZ generation only. Okay. Wow. XYZ? Okay, how about millennials? Generation Y. I have never heard about Generation Y. Can you play song name Batoli for he's not copyright? Please, okay. I'm not gonna do that. I just don't want to have the copyright. The other day I played lots of song for you guys. And then I had to spend like the next day, almost the whole day, trying to remove those songs. Uh, Hi again. Hey you peers, how are you doing? I'm Generation X. You're Generation X? Which is Generation X? People born between the year what and what? I feel like Generation Z. Why? I feel like almost everybody. Okay, I believe Generation Z is people born between 1997 and is it 2000? Okay, let me research. The Generation Alpha here. Nah. Okay. I believe Generation Z is people born between the year 1997 to 2010, right? Y1 5 King Win says hi. Hi, good to see you. How are you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Hey. Top fan, yay. Okay. Top top fan. Okay, top fan. Okay, but other people will join in here and then you'll see the number keep changing. The numbers keep changing. Um Dama Moya says you are gay. Yes, I am. I have nothing to deny. Nothing to deny. How is everybody doing? Nothing to deny. Okay. Honestly, I would like to test how these playables work. I don't know if maybe I should just do it right now. Um, you know what? Let me do it. David Webley. Good morning. Good morning, David. How are you doing? Good to see you. How is the going? How are you doing? When you join in like the live stream, you're just getting started here. Need to get myself a cup of water. Okay. You know what? Let me try the player boss as you guys join in. The puzzle. Okay, I want to see how this works out. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, it's like today the phone gave me the live stream gave me another option to do games. I was looking for that option for a long time. So let me see how it's showing. Wow. Okay, it's complete darkness, guys. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, like the live stream, guys. Like the live stream. Okay, let me try something else. Charles Adam says, "Wow, you're so very beautiful looking. Thank you so much. Thank you so much." Where are you watching me from, Charles? Da, 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 da. Thank you for the likes, guys. Thank you for the likes. I'm trying. This thing is showing me an option for like playing games. I'm like trying to see. I'm not like playing right now, but I would like to know how they work. Charles says, I am from Detroit, Michigan, which is in the US, and I'm 43 years old and I'm single. Okay, okay. Okay, I know. I think that I usually watch creators or people who post videos from Detroit. Okay. Um. Yeah. Personally, I'm engaged, but maybe there's somebody who is looking. Who nearly says, "Can you play anything by?" And I okay, no, no. I maybe at the end of the video, I can do it at the end of the live stream. I just don't want things that are copyright, you know. So yeah, Haley. Wow, why is everybody asking for a song? Can you please, pretty, hooty fruity bike? Okay, you no. Are you single? Yes or no? Beautiful. No, I'm not single. Okay. Thank you guys for joining the live stream. Okay, let's do the questions. But if you're watching this, can you like the live stream? Okay, we were still dealing with which generation had the easiest childhood. Okay, welcome to the live stream. Let me know where you're watching me from. How is it going? How is your day going? How was your night? Okay, so I'm still gonna keep trying to see how these games work. Okay, let's see how it works. It does not work. Okay, welcome to the live stream. just getting started here, just getting situated. How are you doing? How is it going? Attila, oh, it's been a minute before I saw you on the live stream. How are you doing, Attila? Hi. When you join into the live stream, like the live stream, guys. There's a bunch of noise here. Goyim, hi. Hi, Goyim. Attila says I'm good. No. Simbe Edward, hey. How are you doing? Uko live? Yes, I'm live. How are you doing, Tumefika? Okay, welcome on the live stream. Welcome on the live stream. Okay, we are just starting with which generation had the easiest childhood, in your opinion? Oh, okay. Thank you, Asante. Asante sana. Oh, passes to Afika. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Okay, let's forget about that question. And thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes. Would you rather live 200 years or live one perfect 70-year life? Okay, would you rather live 200 years? Okay, guaranteed. You know, you're living 200 years, or live one perfect 70-year life. Okay, you live until you're 200, but you don't have the perfect life, or you live up to you're 70, but you have the greatest life. Which one would you choose? How is it going? Good, good. How are you doing? Loli says, hey, I'm from Netherlands, and you Kenya. Okay, okay, thank you so much. Okay, what would you rather live 200 years or live one perfect 70-year life? Juliet Precious, how are you doing? Okay. Basic says, you from Netherlands, how are you? Lollipop. Okay. Is it Lollipop by okay. Attila says, to answer the question of the day, have to say generation better. Oh, wow. What is generation better? The ones that are getting born right now? Why? Why do you think they're having a good life? I think they will pretty much. Okay, it's better times. I'm only imagining during the time that I grew up, or even born, like parents could discipline their children like by regular. Okay, I can see why they're having a good life right now, or they will have a good childhood. Not to mention all the tools that are available, you know. Dilap Dapa says, hello, hello, good to see you. You from Kenya? Let me speak it, okay? Yes, I'm from Kenya. Lots of love from India. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. We have a question here. Would you, habari, poa sana, I'm good. Would you rather live 200 years or live one perfect 70-year life? You know what? I would choose, I would choose to live up, I would choose to like pass on the 200 years and just go with the 70 year life. Okay, if you live for 70 years and you have a good life, no regrets, okay, you do everything that has to be done, you explore everything, you're not struggling, you have a good life. Honestly, I would go with the being 70-year old. Okay, live up to 70-year old, because what's the purpose of like having 200 years that are filled with sorrow, that are filled with depression? I think for me as a person, I would go with being 70-year old. I don't know about you. um I don't know, maybe would you choose to live up to 200, or would you take when it comes to the 70-year-old? Juliet says, I agree. Okay, you would rather go with the, 70, Joel Numzi. How are you doing, Joel? Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Uh-huh. Okay, answer the question, guys. Would you rather live 200 years or live one perfect 70-year life? Okay. And thank you so much for being here. Okay. Immortality, yes or no? Would you want to live forever, eternal life? Would you want to be immortal? Let's go. Let's see what you guys have to say when it comes to that. For me, when it comes to, I just don't think I would pass. No, my answer is no. I would not want to be immortal. Yeah, boy, Nilos, hi, hi. Welcome to the live stream. Uh-huh. Passes. Okay. Long life is not a special offer. It's a general covenant to write. Okay, so you would go for the 70 is the minimum. 70 is the minimum, so you would rather go with the 200, but you're not having a good life. Okay, for me it's all about the quality of life. Okay, maybe sometimes you can live up to 10. Oh, okay, maybe you can live up to 50 and you have a great life. Okay, or you can live up to 100 and you have the whole of your life miserable. Okay, you have a bad life. Yeah. Okay, I want to try something right here. Okay, I'm trying something. The key of good life is a covenant too. Which covenant? We don't die, we sleep. Okay, so for you, immortality is yes. Okay, I am like old age is good. David slept in a good old age, okay? So you wouldn't mind to live, you wouldn't mind to live uh, until you're 200. Wow, I just feel like that's just too old for me. It's too old. Oh, Derek Taylor. How are you doing, Taylor? Ooh. Hello from UK. Okay, I remember you from yesterday's live stream. Okay, how are you doing? Would you rather live 200 years or live one perfect 70-year life? Okay, and guys, like the live stream, let's hang out right here. Ooh, yeah, personally, I'm going with the 70-year-old. You're beautiful, thank you. Where do you get your topics, Mwalimu? I usually think. Sometimes, let me tell you, sometimes I'm just like, I'm watching maybe a show on Netflix and I am thinking about a question in regards to the topic. Sometimes I'll be talking with my friends and then I'm like, oh my god, that would be something nice to talk about. Sometimes I'll be scrolling and then I find something interesting. I'm like, oh my god, this maybe these people would like to talk about this. So that's how I find them. Okay, I pretty much put a lot of time in this. Okay, and I appreciate that fact. Oh my god, they appreciate your support. Yeah, the even with the watch hours, guys. Thank you so much. Um, Big Money says my friend Ray loves your channel. By the way, shout out to him. Okay. Ooh, wow. You know, this is why I keep telling myself I should be reading things in my head before I read them out loud. DDO, hello, have you seen the answer? No, no, no. Okay, I hope you guys are not telling me to look at a bad thing. Guys, like the live stream. A lot of books now I've picked fulfilling your days, okay? Yeah, sometimes actually I have a book that I've been reading. I kind of like lost interest, but like even with the book, is like you can get a lot of things to talk about. Oh, I see animated movies about ants or what? This is not what we are here to do. Maybe I'll do that in my private time on my specific time. You are an encyclopedia, and actually I am not actually. You know what, when you realize if the type of things that you do per day, when you're outside, you notice people doing something, and then you can think about, oh my god, this is something that you can get lots of questions from that. Okay, when you are dealing with your friends, your parents, your partner, there's lots of things, or there's lots of questions that I feel like you can ask, and I am pretty good at asking. Okay, let me give you guys another question. What invention you think actually made life worse? What invention you think actually made life worse? Freya, hi. You're so pretty. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you even for the likes. What invention you think actually made life worse? Okay. Because sometimes I usually wonder, before the invention of surgery, what would people do when they were not feeling good? Like, uh, I think, I think, okay, I think, you know what? Liquidity Trader says social media. Why social media? Do you think why social media? How did social media make life worse? Okay, today I was scrolling and I came across this lady. She had a situation where like she was having blood in her stool. She went to a doctor and then they recommended this procedure, and they ended up ruining her body. Okay, with these surgeries. Okay, they ended up like making it even worse. Okay, so I have this feeling, what if medicine didn't exist, or like surgery didn't exist, and she just didn't do anything, she just didn't do anything about it, and maybe her body would eventually heal. Maybe she would adapt a more better lifestyle when it comes to food. But I kind of feel like some surgeries, okay, they make life worse. I think that way. Okay, what invention you think actually made life worse? Liquidity says social media. Let's go. Let me see yours. Which one do you think? Um, Invention that made life worse. Okay. Yeah, but actually, I can see why what you're saying about social media, because right now human connections are so difficult. We are all in our phones. It's like you could enter into a room and everybody is just in their phones. The children are in their phones. The parents are in their phones. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Okay, and keep telling me where you're watching me from. Also, I think we have almost like 3 questions. You can answer either and you'll just be okay. Okay, Sadar, my good friend, welcome back. Okay, liquidity says people started comparing. Okay, I asked the question. There's a bunch of questions, guys. You can choose which one you want to answer. What invention? What invention you think actually made life worse? Okay. Liquidity says people started comparing themselves to others more and living online more than in real life. Social media creates a false reality for so many. Yeah, I know. I know. Let me tell you, I was one of those people. Checking. I kept checking the friends that we graduated together. I kept checking, oh my God, what are they doing right now? And then some of them, maybe straight after school, even before graduation, some of them got jobs. Some of them, I constantly kept looking on the WhatsApp status to see people's updates. Okay, and I kept doing that, and I didn't realize how much I was just like comparing myself to these people. And it's not like I have a bad life. Actually, I might have a better life, but it's just like the moment I keep checking is, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not doing good enough. I should maybe work harder. But let me tell you, the moment I stopped looking, actually these days I don't usually look at people's status. I do maybe once in a while, but it's like I honestly, I even prefer to watch when I watch strangers, people that I don't know. Their success do not faze me. It just do not faze me, and it's not from a point of jealousy. It's just that like we are all human. We tend to compare ourselves with people that we think we are supposed to be in the same. We are supposed to be in the same boat. We are supposed to be in the same economic status, same marital status. So the moment you turn out, I turned down that, what is it called? It's a type of noise. I just have a good life. I don't feel the need to update myself, or update people on WhatsApp so that people can see what I'm doing. Right now, for people to have access to me, if you're not supporting me here, it's like even over there. Let's not talk. Irakoze, Hello from Rwanda County. Rwanda County, how are you doing? Country, I think you were saying country, like the live stream, guys. How are you doing, Irakoze? Um, what invention you think actually made life worse? Sadar says, invention that made life worse, I think, is the internet. Wow. I mean, it's a good platform for information like a digital library, but social media and stuff made things worse, led to degradation. Yeah, we never have quality time with our families anymore, with our friends. The comparison, my good friends. Yeah, right now, actually, there's a time that I was scrolling and I see this 24, at the time I would have been 22. I see these people who are 22-year old like I was, and they're buying cars. You know, they build for their parents, they did this and that for your parents. And then you're wondering, what am I not doing? Like, why am I not doing these things? Okay, but you know, it's like we are all reading from different chapters. Okay, we come from different backgrounds, we are not similar. Okay, so I see what you're saying. Lucy Jenny says we are mortal, there is no such a thing as immortality. Okay, uh okay, and in the sense of like if that was an option, would you take it? Okay, the question was actually, would you rather live 200 years or live one perfect 70-year-old life? Okay. Sada says even YouTube. I mean, YouTube is a bit different than, let's say, Instagram and TikTok. But even here can be trash content. Even in live streams, there are people, some people, some really strange people. Okay. Why do you consider YouTube different? Is it because you don't consume short form? I think one of the things that social media have done is like our attention span. Our attention span. Actually, I pay for Netflix, but I gotta tell you, this month I have not watched any single movie on Netflix or whatever, and I pay for it. I just, like, for example, today I was like, you know what, I can watch as I prepare for the show, and then I just click. I of course I put Netflix on, and then I'm just like, it's like I just don't have that type of attention. Okay, who is gonna watch something for 1 hour? It's like these other apps have made us like our attention span is almost, you know. So that is, I saw once a guy on YouTube live. He had a toilet seat on his shoulders, and he was combing fast his hair and making weird noises. Wow. Okay. I prefer the perfect life. 70-year-old. Okay. Me too. I choose the 70-year-old. Okay. The question is, actually, the question is still here. It's still on here, on somewhere here, but I had to pin the one that we are talking about. What would you rather live 200 years or live a perfect 70-year-old life? Yeah. For me, it's all about the quality of life, not the quantity, you know, because you can live for so many years and not have a good life. So that's it. Maybe because, I don't know, YouTube feels a bit different. Maybe because it's older, lots of educational videos. Maybe it's mostly because of uh okay, yeah. uh how I feel like the people in on YouTube are more real. I don't know. Yeah, they are more real. And at least with most of this video, you get context. Okay, you get where they are talking, where they are coming from, what are they talking about. Yeah, but see, for example, on the other apps, it's like we cannot scroll fast enough. It's like, ah, okay, yeah. Thank you for the likes, guys. Thank you for the likes. Okay, we had another question before this one. Would you rather live 200 years or live one perfect 70-year life? Okay, and that's what had brought up the immortality, yes or no. So let me know your opinions, and thank you guys for the continuous support. We're still growing right here. Yeah, I might be doing some playables later on. Is actually, uh-huh. Sada says even the phones, OG phones had their purpose. Just call someone, let's meet there, and that time, and just for informing. Now the phones are pocket computers. Yeah, they really are. Okay, and the purpose was just to call. Okay, you couldn't chat. Maybe you could send messages, but it's like it was not that interesting. Right now, our phones our phones are like everything. Okay, this phone is your bank, has your bank account, With this phone you can pay your bills, with the same phone you can talk to people, with the same phone. Actually, what can a phone not do these days? Pansan says, hi, keep letting me know where you're watching me from. Salute. Dian says, immortality does not exist. It does not exist. What if it existed? Would you take it? Okay, Alex Lodge. Hi, Alex. I don't know what you're saying, Didi. Oh, I don't understand what you're saying. Okay, if aliens arrive to... Okay, let me first get on this one. Shada says, for example, one time I used Samsung phone with buttons. One, but my dad gave me a smartphone still for information or contacts, or let's say paying stuff, but I kept my smaller phone. Okay, you like the smaller phone better, and the fact that it can fit in your pocket. Okay, so that says, and honestly, I felt better with the simpler phone. I could just use the computer as an alternative of smartphone. Okay, honestly, I have never owned like a small phone, but my my mother always had the small phone. But it's because honestly I didn't have a phone for most of my life until maybe after high school. Okay, so I would always borrow my mom's small phone and stuff. Is it this whole typing, like where you chat with your schoolmates? I never had access to that because I never had a phone. But yeah, I agree with you. The smaller phone is more direct. These smartphones, the smartphones even have the capability of ruining relationships, because it's like you can even get texted by random people. Immortality is the topic. Okay. uh okay, is it Dien? I don't know how to pronounce that, because when we leave this world we cannot return, and we leave behind everything we have built in this world. Okay. We leave behind everything that we've built in this world. So you believe that there's no immortality, there's no eternal life. Okay, if that was given to you, would you take it? If there was possibility of having eternal life, honestly, I would just say no. To be really honest, I just feel like at least there's an end date. You know, at least there's an end date, because the fact is, if you have to continue aging, um, what is the purpose of staying for the rest of your life? Uh-huh. Sadar says, I had my first smartphone after the 5th grade, but back then I used it mostly for games. I didn't have socials back then, okay? Yeah, these days children are demanding that they should have a phone, and they should have access to the all the platforms, okay? Yeah, I don't know, maybe not having a phone, maybe it was not a good thing. Maybe I didn't keep contact with lots of people in school, but I feel like it was just pretty nice for me. It's like I never missed out on the playing. I never missed out. I was not thinking about going home and scroll because I didn't have a phone. I think immortality in a peaceful world would without violence is gonna be better. Okay. Yeah, but see, you're still aging. Okay, all the things that you face right now, you'll still face them. So if you live to you live, you like, you are having eternal life, you're still exposed to all the factors, especially the aging part. That is still on the table. You're still aging. Will you still take it? Imagine if you lived since the beginning of human history until today and seeing the violence and stuff. Mind is gonna be able to, is not gonna be able to take all of it, I think. Yeah. Okay. Imagine living from the beginning. And actually, you know what? All the propagandas that we pass down from generation to another, they would not exist because people would be here to say like, oh, I've been here for the from the first day. Okay, and they would be able to clarify that. I think there would be less propaganda actually. If people would live for the rest of their lives, like there's complete, you're still here, 50,000 years to come, you're still here. Oh my god. But I just feel like that can become really, the world we would become overpopulated unless people stop having kids. Okay, in that case, at least right now the world is, we have a lot of population, but yeah, at least we are not that overpopulated. There's the natural way of uh removing some people and then we have others. So I think that would be pretty much interesting to even look at. Okay, let's go with this one. If aliens arrive tomorrow, what would you want to ask them first? Let me see here. Okay, guys, like the live stream, would really appreciate that. Sada says, I think maybe it's not the problem. Maybe it's not the problem of our population. The issue maybe is that some people are greedy and they want to take more resources and not leave to others. Yeah, because honestly, think about it. Some people have like 1,000 acres of land. They have like 10,000 acres of land. One person, okay. If let's say if for example, if there was a limitation to what one person can have, maybe that uh would make life easier, because all the people who don't have a place to stay, they can at least go there and you can build a madhouse. I'm African. Okay, but yeah, the thing is, like, even out here, for example, you'll find there's people without anything, and then there's others with like thousand, if not 10,000s of property. When it comes to money, okay, there are people who have more money, and it's actually, some of them is even money that they have not worked for. They might have been smarter, that's how they acquired the money, and the others didn't. But it's like, yeah, I see what you're saying. If aliens arrive tomorrow, what would you want to ask them first? Okay, and guys, welcome to the live stream. My good name is Wamboy. Yes, yes, yes. Here we are. I was born and raised in Kenya. Let me know where you are at. Of course, I'm always interested in where you guys are from. I think it's interesting just to see how far the live stream is going, or like how many people we are reaching. It just kind of like gives you this thing of like, let's keep going. The man effect, yes. Immortality, yes. Oh, you would choose the immortality. Okay, why? Okay. Hello guys, where are you watching me from? Kindly say hi. We have two questions. You can choose which one you wanna answer, which one you want to participate in. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, I'm checking something right here. Okay. Anna Abazi says hi. Hi, how are you doing? Where are you watching me from? Dion says aliens exist, but they live on another planet, different from the ones you know. Okay, so you believe that aliens exist? Honestly, I don't believe that there's another human life apart from the one that we. I feel like we are the only intelligent beings on this. Uh, like even on other planets. I don't feel like. Why do you think that there's another human life or these aliens on another planet? Okay, can you imagine if the aliens came to this planet where we are at, and they just come? Let's say, I don't know, what color would they be? Would they be gray? Would they be Sadar says most planets are too hostile to sustain life. I don't think there would be an organism able to live in such conditions. Okay, so you don't think aliens exist? Okay, uh, okay, but actually, honestly, the question of what do you want to ask them is like you can't ask them the question if you don't believe they exist. I feel like the camera has that's a little bit better. Okay, you can't ask a question if you don't think that they believe. Okay, do you think there's another human life on other planets? Okay, that would be interesting. Would they be black, white, gray, blue? Oh my god, that would really be interesting. Well, angels could maybe pass as aliens since they are not from this world. Okay. Hmm. Sam her. How you doing? Okay. A genuine question. African say, what do you think? You're the ones with the question. Do you think they are aliens? And why would they be aliens? Is it because of the different type of hair, physical features? Why would you think that way? Oh God! Every day you get a chance to be surprised at how people think. I'm always getting bullied by African classmates, okay? And that makes you think that, like, time to change, but people not so much, I guess, okay? Wow. Okay, I don't think that's a good enough reason for you to think that way, because I think what you're getting is like, of course, you have anger, but see, you don't have anger towards Africans, you don't have anger towards black people, you have anger towards these specific individuals, which I believe their names, okay? But like, I don't know. And the other day we were talking about does white privilege exist, and like, I remember, I think it's Bob, he said like, black people, you get classified as a group, okay? See, if you are being bullied by any other race, you would say so and so, you would say, oh, Connor was mean to me, you'd say Alexa was mean to me, you would say Taylor was mean to me. But when it comes to when you talk about black people, we talk about a group, you talk about, oh, it's Africans. Yeah, I don't think that's right. Yeah, if they bully you, they are the problem, not everyone. Yes, yeah. Why do everybody wants to like box black people or even Africans into one thing? Okay, I just feel like that's wrong. Okay, how do you doing, GP? Okay, thank you guys for tuning in, like the live stream. Okay, so nobody here believes that aliens are real, right? Okay, honestly, personally, I don't see if I could believe. I have heard all the conspiracy theories and like what others say about that. I find it interesting, but I don't think they. I honestly do not think that they do exist. Yeah. Okay. What is your most irrational and better than everyone else moment? Let's go. Okay, welcome to the live stream, guys. Kindly say hi. Let me know how you're doing. Where are you watching me from? Let's do a little bit of hanging out. Diane says they just want to underestimate Africans. You shouldn't believe what she told you. Yeah, I know, and I couldn't. Okay, which continent are you from, Diane? Okay, yeah. The thing is, I feel like I feel like by putting somebody down, you get to feel better. So I feel like by putting African people down, everybody tell me. I feel like everybody wants to look down on Africans, right? Everybody actually, and this also have shown in like the way people want to look at, for example, Black Americans. Okay, Black Americans are as Americans as everybody else. Okay, some people have moved to the U.S. as adults, and maybe they've gone there, they've become citizens, and they look down on black Americans, American citizen, and they've been there for years. But I see how people like to look down on the black people by how they are treated as second class citizens. Okay, it's like, you know. So that's it. I don't know why people say about African people, about watermelon. I found info that when enslaved black people gained their freedom, many grew and sold watermelons as a sign of independence. Wow. So it was a racial thing. That's why I didn't read it. It's a racial thing. Okay. Wow. It's a sign of independence. Oh my God. Yeah, I feel like everybody wants to be better than anyone, than somebody. You know, you want to feel better than somebody. So you gotta put somebody down so you can feel a little bit good. Faith, how are you doing? Hi. Which is like totally wrong. Well, I didn't know about the watermelon. Let me search. Uh, I'm applying some medicine. I'm pure African and I live in Senegal. Okay. Wow, your name sounds foreign. Maybe I'm not familiar with Senegalese names, but wow, I would have guessed maybe you're from South America or something. Okay, let me research about the whole watermelon thing because woo, that's interesting. I love information. About chicken as well, I found that. Okay. Wow. Wow, watermelon stereotype. This thing says the watermelon stereotype the watermelon stereotype is an anti-black, um, originated from southern US. It first arose as a backlash against African American emancipation and economic self-sufficiency in the late 1860s, African American Civil War in several areas of the South. While formerly enslaved individuals grew watermelon on their own land as a cash crop to sell. Thus, for African Americans, watermelons were a symbol of liberation and self-reliance. However, for many in the majority white culture, watermelons embodied and threatened a loss of dominance. Southern white um, resentment, resentment threatened a loss of oh, against African Americans led to politically potent culture, using the watermelon to disparage African Americans as childish and unclean, among other negative attributes. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think that's my sign to be looking everything up before I think it's just innocent, you know. User says, where are you from, sister? Love from South Africa. I'm from Kenya. How are you doing? And guys, when you join in, like the live stream, how are you doing? Okay. Wow. Okay, so that says it started during slavery in the Jim Crow era in the American South, where white society turned a real symbol of black survival, skill, and entrepreneurship into a racist caricature. Okay, wow. Okay, honestly, my heart goes out to, you know, those who went through colonization, those who went through slavery. You know, you can only imagine how it was traumatic for them. Okay, but and all I see is people trying to shut us up. Okay, oh, almost like that never happened. You know, you can't keep you can't keep, you know, you need to move forward. You know, you need to heal. Yes, you can't go being angry at everybody, but like, no, it was totally wrong. It was totally wrong. Okay. Let me see. If money didn't exist, what would people use to measure success, in your opinion? I'm just curious, why are people from Kenya so pro-black and have love for black family from all over the world? I don't know. Is that a thing? I didn't know it's a thing. Okay. Maybe because we have learned a lot from the history. I don't know. Maybe because they are black, you know? Sada says there are also many cartoons of 1930s, 1940s, where they showed caricature of black Americans. There was one cartoon, a black American tries to kiss a white woman, but he couldn't because he had big lips. Wow. Okay. Oh my God. That, you know, that just feels so bad. That just feels so bad. But you know what? These things are actually our. This actually our beauty. You know. Yeah. Okay. Do you believe in Africa being one country? Yes, I would want Africa to be one country, but I don't believe it will happen. I feel like we do have a lot of corrupt leaders where they will never allow that to happen, because, well, see, if Africa becomes one country, you know what would happen? If Africa becomes one country, we would want to have one president, okay? So, but see, all these countries have their own presidents, which means these presidents cannot allow that to happen because they will lose their seats, okay? They will lose their political relevance, you know? Another thing is like, okay, let's say we have Africa as one country, right? So we are trying to have one president. Yes, we would have maybe senators and governors in every other country. But it's like the leaders, there are gonna be a lot of political seats that will be lost, and maybe for that reason, these leaders will not allow that to happen. For that reason, okay. Also, I don't think that we have the capability of running that. Do you see some of these countries? Okay, it's a small, let's say it's a small country, the African country. Some of the countries are small, but even they can't be able to run these countries. So how will they be able to run a whole continent? I don't think so. The corruption would become worse. I don't think anything would get done. I think even this, I honestly, I think it would be chaos. I think it would be chaos. Let me know, do you think, what do you think would happen if Africa united, in your opinion? Superman says immortality is possible with science if we get advanced in the future. Okay, would you want that to happen to you? Okay, we need technology to increase telomere in our DNA. This will increase our lifetime. Okay, but will we be aging when that's happening? So we need to find a safer way. It's possible now with a research, but it has cancer cause risk. So we need to find a safer way. Okay, would you want that? I honestly, I don't think I would want that. I'm all for like, a quality life. Not to mention, I think it would become monotonous. At least for now. Can you imagine right now, most people retire at the age of 60 years old, and at least with your retirement and maybe a little bit of your saving, you can be able to survive for the next 20 years at least, at most next 20, but can you imagine retiring at 60, and now you have to figure out a way to provide for yourself for the next 100 years? I think that would be catastrophic. Dark Knight says, thank you. Okay. I don't want immortality. I want to go to heaven instead. Woo. Okay. Okay. And guys who are just joining in, like the live stream, that really helps out. Superman says, yeah, I wish so we can have more fun. Okay. But that is if your life is all about fun. Okay. Some of us, before we get to a point where like we can have the fun, these years of toiling, these years of hard work, these years of stress, you know. Isa says, I want to visit Africa next year. Which country should I visit first? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna advocate for my country. Try Kenya. And Sada says, I guess if Africa unites as one country, maybe it will be the biggest, if not the biggest, among the biggest countries in the world. Yeah, yeah. I think, and the only thing that's standing in the way is the leaders. Is the leaders is for their own selfish gains. They would never allow unity to happen because it threatens their pocket to begin with. It threatens their ego. Yeah, but it will decrease aging, not just immortality. Okay. Diane says, for Africa to become a single country, it first needs patriotic African youth who defend Africa's interests, but not like our current leaders who are subservient to the West. Okay, yeah, that has to end. Honestly, to be really honest, I think it would be chaotic. Okay, and I don't think the unity of Africa will happen in our lifetime for us, most of us who are here, because maybe I believe we are 20 and above. I don't think it will happen in our lifetime. It might not happen in our children's lifetime, or maybe not even in their children's lifetime, but maybe the children of the future, or the generation of the future, might make that happen. But I think it will be total chaos. Yeah, are you from Kenya? Yes, I am. Sarah says, and also finally Americans will be correct saying that Africa is a country. Oh my god, It's like I am just so sick and tired of like the whole boxing a whole, you know, almost 10,000 languages into one, we okay. What if you get immortality and life in prison? I said I would skip even with the freedom, so I'm still skipping with life in prison. I'm gonna skip. Dean says, for United Africa, we first need a patriotic African youth who defend Africans' interests, but not like our current leaders who are subservient to the West. Yeah, yeah. And I think it all comes down to like self worth. The fact that you are a leader and you have money does not change how you see yourself. So, uh-huh. I think the South African country can unite. Oh, countries. Okay. For example, you think Namibia, South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe, you think they can unite? Let's say we can unite according to regions. All South African countries unite and become a country. All East African countries unite and become a country. All West African countries unite and become a country, and all North African countries unite and become a country. So we would end up having and all Central Africans. So we would end up having like 6 countries out of that, maybe. And see if Africa unite, maybe that should be the basis of the forming the states. Okay, all South African countries would become one. East Africa become one, West Africa become one, North Africa become one. Ooh, that would be interesting. We would end up having like maybe between 6 to 10 states. Superman says then we won't be enjoying immortality in jail because immortality needs con- constant treatment in the lab. Okay. Yeah, honestly, I am skipping from the go. I don't care if it's inside the outside. I just feel like we are here for a season, and that season should remain. Darkness says the West always destroying everything. Okay, and I don't believe that the West always destroy everything. I feel like if you are allowing that to happen, they are doing that for their own good. Okay, so that they can get resources from your country. For example, like right now, like in Kenya, we have most of our roads being constructed by Chinese. Okay, so we are getting a deal out of it. They're getting a deal out of it, and you're not asking yourself, why are they willing to do that? Why are they willing to construct all of these things? Because they're getting, then what they're getting in return, they're getting access to minerals, access to materials. Sadas is like South, North, Central, East, and West African. So Africa would have only 5 countries. Okay, yeah, or you can unite into one country, and then we would have these states. That, and honestly, I think that would be interesting. Although it would be very hard also for the devolution of resources. Uh, yeah, I think it would. Yeah, it would be interesting but hard. That says jail will close down and you'll walk out in 100 years, in 1,000 years. Wow. Okay. No. No. Freedom. I feel like freedom is paramount. Like, yeah. Even though some people do live their life like you can be in jail even when you're not in a jail. Okay. So with South Africa is it so? Okay. I don't know. I don't know, but like that's what they seem to be termed like. So, so Hans says, "What is your opinion on industrial revolution?" I think it's pretty interesting, and it's good things that has happened with industrial revolution. Okay, I don't have a lot of opinions on most things, uh, but I feel like maybe okay, but it depends with where. Okay, it's a good thing that have happened, because at least right now there's a lot of things that you can be able to produce, but at the same time you have to look at their cons. Okay, we all look at the pros, what they are being able to give us. But see, we have a lot of pollution, we have a lot of all of that. So what do you think about that? Dark Knight says life is its own prison sometimes. Okay. Yeah. And guys, like the live stream. If you just joined in, please kindly like the live stream. I would appreciate that. Yes, it's what's strange is that in Africa, the way borders were drawn is sometimes wrong. For example, two countries speak the same language and culture, like Gambia, which is an enclave in Senegal. Oh, which two countries? Senegal and Gambia speak the same languages? Okay. Isa says, you sound very educated. Did you go to university? Yes, I have a degree. Yeah. Um, Diane, I didn't know that there are countries. Okay, here in Kenya, I believe there's tribes that live along the border. That seems to be one. For example, there's Masai in Tanzania and there's Masai in Kenya. Okay, so these are the same people, but the borders kind of like divided them. And I believe maybe there's other like two tribes, but most of the tribes that you find in this country, you don't find them in the other country. So that's pretty much interesting to even think about. Okay, and guys, welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for the support. And can we have somebody like the live stream? Okay, let's get some 10 likes in here. Tumefika says industrial revolution shortened a lot of lives. People don't enjoy their pensions. Industrial disease from the poisons. Yeah, that's all I can think about. Actually, that's why I really want to move to the village. One of the reasons why I want to move to, when I moved from the village or growing up, I couldn't get I couldn't get out of the village fast enough. I was just so like, I just don't want this. I felt like the life was so slow. I felt like you could not become who you wanna be in the village. I felt like the village can kill your dreams. I felt like the village takes away your dreams. That's what I felt. So I couldn't get out of there fast enough. Okay, but because of I've been out of the village for years, back and forth. I think I've seen the benefits of the village. It was just so calm, the serenity. There might be a little bit of here and there fixing, but I realize it's all about your mindset. User says, what do you think about Israel and Palestine? Honestly, I don't have an opinion when it comes to that. What do you think? Freya says, hi, welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Like the live stream, guys, and let me know where you're watching me from. After you get what you want, you go back to the village. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Like, you can work towards, for example, this type of thing that I'm working on right now. Okay, this type of thing that I'm working on right now, it can help me to be able to, at least have something to do while I'm behind a village. So, yeah. Sam's edit says, hello, I am okay. Hello, you, how are you doing? Godson, I saw the message. Okay, you think that, I think you had too much personality for a village. Okay. Do you think I would thrive well in a village? Hello, Godson. Okay. Honestly, that's why, sometimes I say, I'm moving to the village, and then I'm scared. I'm like, okay, I think maybe I'm gonna lose my drive. But I think I know myself. And I think I can just be myself. Uh, so it's just a mixture of both. You're like, what if I go and like, what if I go and like everything goes? But for me, I say there's always a car out of that village. That's what I usually say. And for example, even moving out, I was like, if I go out there and I don't like it, I can always come back home. So that's how my mind operates. So how are you doing, Godson? Diane says they speak the same language, Wolof, but during the colonial era, the British controlled the Gambia River and the French controlled Senegal. Oh, wow. So, woo. Okay. Tumefika says she thinks like me. Okay. I would have loved to have been raised in the village, and I am, and sad to say, maybe you wouldn't have liked it. Maybe you would have wanted to get away from it, but you will never know. You will never know because that never happened for you. You know, you were never raised in the village, so you'll never know. I feel like I was pretty much livid growing up because of the experiences, but I think right now looking back, I feel like it's the people that were the problem, not the place. The place is actually the best place that you can be in, I think. Okay, away from the noise, you can build a kingdom. And what this large pieces of land gives you is like the ability to be able to create your own life. Godson says, I'm the kind of person who will be happy if I stay in the same neighborhood with the same people forever. Wow, okay. So you don't like the whole moving in and out. I am actually the totally different. Okay. I have just been moving in and out of places. I go to different towns here in Kenya. Like I have lived in almost like 6 towns. Yeah, and I think I have. He says, I want Kenyan girlfriend. Okay. Keep searching, keep searching. Hopefully you'll find. After hustling in diaspora, people think to go to the village and have peace. Okay. Do you think it's a good idea? After hustling in the diaspora, maybe I think it is, especially if you get yourself, can you see, imagine if you get yourself your own property and then you can construct a house in your own terms. And at least, you see, the thing is with the village, in my opinion, sometimes you can lose, especially if you're living with other people, parents, relatives, you can lose your power, or you can use your to people. So that is interesting. Godson says, I'm not complaining, I'm grateful, but growing up in the big city, then moving to the US was harmful to me when I was young. Okay. Wow, I can only sympathize. Okay. I think that's the dream for most of us who grew up in the village. We wish that was us. We wish that our parents had so many dreams that they decided to pick up their lives and move to a totally new country for for their goals and dreams and for a better life. We wish that was us. But we will never know that reality because we never got to live that. Okay. So I think grass is always greener somewhere else, right? Aman says hi. Hi Aman, how are you doing? Okay, grass is always greener somewhere else. That's something that I'm realizing. I never appreciated life in the village. I just felt like it kind of like stifles who you are. It stifles your personality. You cannot become. But I realized most people who never had that, they wish they had that. You know, I'm doing fine. Where are you watching me from? Yeah. Yeah, but something that I have realized is like the childhood literally shapes who you become. The childhood that you have can decide can determine what type of person are you gonna turn out to become. You're from Pakistan, that's good. Okay, are you gonna become a bitter person? Are you gonna become a happy person? And all of these things. So Sada says, I guess they would measure how much. I guess they would measure how much you are hardworking, responsible, or how much you take care of your health more. Okay, that would be interesting. Okay, the cars wouldn't matter, the properties wouldn't matter. And now we have to how you treat others. Maybe even would the hardworking matter if it does not resort to money? Okay, or maybe how you hardworking you are to, I don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't know what would be the measure of success in that case. Okay, and if you're wondering which question Sada is answering to, if money didn't exist, what would people use to measure success? Okay. Sada says, so instead of gold diggers, there would be health diggers. Okay, you're looking for somebody, and I think there is. I think there's that in real life. Okay, actually, I was watching this show today. Actually, okay, this guy, he was overweight before. Okay, and then he lost weight. And then his wife got pregnant, and they had a child. And then the wife put the weight on, of course, baby fat, and all of the things that happened. And then this guy lost his weight, right? And he starts becoming a bully, like, oh my god. And I believe that is health digger right there. Why are you so obsessed with okay, you met them at their perfect shape, right? But they just gave birth, you know. Why are you so obsessed with oh, them being healthy, them not being fat? Why are you so obsessed with that? uh Dion says, I've never been to the village. Wow, why? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is okay. Let me first of all read this because I can already. I can already. Okay. Uh. Okay. So because I'm from the village, I'm not allowed to go some place and eat. George says, first of all, before I forget one boy, I'm sick and tired of you talking about the village life. I saw you. I saw you eating in an expensive looking hotel and you were not eating one meal, several meals, right? Yes. Okay. Having one thing is like when I go to a hotel or a restaurant, I do not sleep there. Okay? I just go there for a meal and then I go back to my real life. Okay. And even right now, I'm not streaming from the village. Oh my god. Life is spiritual. Mm-hmm. Uh God says, George, what's wrong with you? Okay? It's like I'm not allowed. You know, and this is the problem. This is the problem. I can have two realities and okay. Uh and instead of sugar daddy there would be, I don't know, okay? Health daddy. Okay. Tumefika says villagers in Africa are millionaires. No, it's just like, you know, something that I said before here, okay? It's like I am so tired. I am so tired of like this showing Africa in a light of like darkness, in a light of, you know, it's only what are they called, mud houses. Okay, there can be a middle ground. Okay, there can be a middle ground. You know, the fact that you're African does not mean that you have to be struggling, homeless, and all of that. You know, sometimes you have a place to stay. So the problem is you guys want to be lied to. Okay, you guys want to be lied to. That's your problem. Robert Robert Jenkins. Okay, well, I don't know what you're laughing at. Maybe Dr. Shingos was funny to you. Godson says, okay. Then okay, got the audacity. Uh, because it's very hot there. Uh-huh. Where is it very hot? Okay, I'm trying to like trace back. Oh, yeah, because it's very hot in the village. Does that mean that it's not hot in the city? Tuefika says it's only mismanagement and corruption, but it can change. Yeah, it can pretty much. Stormtrooper says, a beautiful woman, thank you so much. And guys, like the live stream before we continue. Like the, like the live stream. Okay. Honestly, my phone or my YouTube thing for live stream have just brought me an update. Like, I can play games on the live stream. You get until you guys get me the watch hours. You better be ready to be sick because I'm gonna. But maybe I'll time for hours where I usually don't stream, and I'll play this game for hours. Judge says, I never said you slept on that hotel. It is the way you always focus on the village life. Because it's part of my life that people want to hear about, okay? And first of all, I never just come here and say, okay, let's talk about poverty only. No, we talk about different lives. And the fact that I'm African and I am a village girl, I'm a country girl. People want to hear about that. People asking me questions about my village experience. Would I want to do that again? Or even right now, me saying that I'm gonna move back to the village. So where is the problem right there? Like this beautiful woman live stream. Okay, thank you for the likes, guys. Sadan says, maybe if money didn't exist, maybe people would measure success how much Bitcoin you have. Oh, that would even be worse. I think that would even be worse. Okay. No, do you guys feel like okay, I don't feel like talking about your experiences. Oh, I don't feel like there's only one way of life. I feel like there's a lot of ways of life, and like, and you don't have to agree with my way of life. Okay. Mm-hmm. What's something you secretly judge people for? Sada says, I mean, everyone can choose themselves for themselves how to live. Um, just certain lifestyles could harm us, but still, anyone chooses what they want to choose. Okay, yeah, everyone chooses how, and that's the bottom line right there. You know, but I feel like this perception of like this a particular way that like if you're African, actually there's so many people that we have argued here on the live stream because I have opinions and I'm African. People think that I shouldn't have opinions. Okay, maybe the things that I talk about should be some of the things that Western women talk about. Okay, but I choose what, you know. Okay, maybe I don't choose the type of things that I think about or talk about, but it's totally wrong when somebody finds out that I can talk about these things or like I think like this. It's totally wrong for um people to think, oh, you shouldn't think like that, you're an African woman, you know. So Tumefika says one. Okay, what's one thing you secretly judge people for? Ah, keep telling me where you're watching me from. How is everyone doing? Okay, here we go. So that is, I mean, I don't know if you have a certain view or opinion. If you are right about it, you're right. If you're wrong, then you're wrong, just like anyone. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like, okay, and honestly, when it comes to having opinions, that's a personal thing, okay? You might not agree with the opinions that I have, okay? Just like the same way that you might not agree with opinions somebody else have, okay? But I feel like it's so wrong for you to say, oh, you shouldn't think like that, you know. No, I can't think like that, you know. It's my brain. Uh, Dion says, I live in the capital. We are close to the sea. We play sports there, get some fresh air. Okay. I think you would also get that from your village. I hope, Omboy, you did say something negative about my comment. You should also tell people from Europe or America, Africa has an urban life also. Okay. Yeah, I said like, no, I said like, it's my decision what, like, I live a village life and a city life at the same time. Okay, I'm a village girl, you know, grew up in the village, so it's like, no, I can share about my village. That if that's what they wanna know because they've never lived a village life, I will tell them about my village life. Okay, if you've seen my videos in the village, I never go looking for mad houses to show. I just show our house made out of wood. Okay, right now I've always live streamed in here. Okay, does this make them think that Africa is all poor and stuff? No, no. So I honestly, I feel like I show the continent in all their lights. I show the good side where, like, right now, this honestly, this is like somebody's apartment in New York or in London. Okay, and then when I go to the other life, that's just a village life. I feel like, okay, we can't just like only show the reality. That I cannot travel, I cannot travel to go to this mansion so that I can say that I can show the Western world, oh, this is what Africa looks like. No, I'm gonna show my life or how I'm living. This is where I'm at. This is where I live at. When I'm at home in my village, this is where I live at. I can't go to other people's houses so I can show you guys that I have a good, or we are rich or stuff. No, no. Can you see the imbalance? It's like you want me to show them, oh, this is richness, but it's not my reality. Wamboy, how do you know these people live in urban areas? You never know where these people live. I do not know where these people live. Okay, that's the truth. Okay, but it's like, no, I'm telling about my life. Some people here have said that they are from the countryside, even in Europe, in US, in Asia. People have said that they are from the village. You've been here, you've seen people say that they are from the countryside. Okay, so it's okay for people in the Western world to say that they are from the village, but I can't say that. Why am I not allowed? Okay, why can I not say that I'm from the village? There's a way to become rich in the planet Neptune. It has rain, of course, and it rains, guess what, diamonds. Ah, wow. If there would be a possibility to correct them, you'd get super rich on Earth. Oh my god. Can we teleport there or something? Can we go there and come back with all the riches and stuff? Okay, guys, because some of you have been here for a long time, you know what I usually say. Okay. Boy, we understand where you come from. Next, please. Okay, no, I'm just feeling, no. I'm gonna talk about the what's next. Oh, you know what? Bring up the next topic. Okay, you're not gonna come here and tell me that, like, I can't share who I am, or like I can't show my village life. It's like I'm only supposed to show life in one light that is not my reality. So, haha. Yeah, I wish we were arguing because I tend to show uh maybe I wish we were arguing because I'm acting rich, but I'm not. I think that, but acting just who I am, I don't know. Why is that a problem? Your face is glowing. Is it? Oh, with this lighting, yeah. See my face under the sun. Oh my god, it's glowy. Even without the sun, I've been drinking a lot of water, and it's showing. It's showing. This is your encouragement to drink some water. Is gonna show on your skin. So that's it. But they're strong. But the thing is, it's very far, and it would take lots of years to get there. And even if you get there, it has one of the strongest hurricanes in the solar system, more times stronger than on Earth. Okay, Wow, we never have hurricanes here. Okay, maybe we might have drought, we might have what are floods, but yeah, I think that's like a US thing or something. Okay, but I don't know if I don't think I would risk to go to another planet. You know what is wrong with people? Next topic, being pregnant. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, ooh, okay, God, there's a lot of creeps in here. Creepy people. Oh my God. Who then is creep? Okay, God. For example, this person with the name James Carlson, so creepy. You know, why would you just wake up and type a bunch of nonsense? Okay, guys. Actually, we are winding up. Usually, I end the live stream at 5 p.m. and it's 5 p.m. Health issues topic. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Maybe we are gonna continue that. Of course, I'm gonna live stream tonight. We're gonna continue with that specific time. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for joining in. Keep watching the videos. Okay, I'm gonna wait 1 minute or something if someone is typing. Yeah, so I'm gonna see you all later on. But actually, I have like a immortality goes with health. Okay, okay, yeah, and I believe that. I believe that. But I will pass. You know, I think I would rather have 70 good years or 80 good years than have 120 or 170, you know. So thank you so much guys for tuning in. I will see you all later on tonight. Okay, so remember to keep working hard on yourself than you work on others and even on your job. So I'm gonna see you all tonight. Bye bye.